Salutations and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kidology and I make videos about everything and anything to do with modern society. Now, if you've been on the internet since late February, you've probably seen this woman, Reesa Teesa, and you've likely seen snippets or at least memes and references to her now infamous series, Who the F Did I Marry? The 51-part series exclusively features Reesa Teesa detailing her marriage from 2020 to a pathological liar called Legion, who faked not only his entire identity, career, and personal history, but also faked everything that they were aspiring toward as a married Christian couple. He is allegedly schizophrenic and has undiagnosed bipolar, but has refused to get treated. And it turns out that his behavior and actions have actually impacted many women and family members of his since his childhood. And the 51-part series has gained Reesa Teesa just under 4 million TikTok subscribers in under a week. And if she hadn't been demonetized by TikTok, she would have probably earned about 100,000 US dollars. But even with the millions of views and virality, she hasn't made over 5 grand in total from revenue. She is, however, going on a fully paid trip, her dream holiday to London and Paris, and I wish her nothing but the best. So forget about wars and inflation. This is what the internet is battling tooth and nail about. And it has fascinated me as to why. Why this story? Why this 51-part series? Why Reesa Teesa? And I think there is one general reason as to why this story has captivated the modern world by force. Sharing her story started the healing for a lot of people. Reesa Teesa is an absolutely phenomenal storyteller. The fact that she was able to make a 51-part series totaling over 8 hours on a platform designed to cater to the lowering attention span of online audiences is a testament to how exceptional a storyteller she is. And every part of the series has been viewed in full over 1 million times. And each part is about 10 minutes long on TikTok. Yeah.
We are obsessed. We are honing in on Reesa Teesa. Obviously, there is something there. And I feel like this has been the theme of the last 5 days because I have done multiple episodes about this now, but Hollywood is struggling. Obviously, you guys know this, but we are really honing in this week. Like, people do not care about their content. Audiences care about good storytelling, about real people, about authentic stories that take risks and pose good questions and are not focused on an agenda one way or the other. And it might seem ridiculous because it is TikTok, but Reesa damn Teesa has all of this. That is why she has the internet in the palm of her hand.
And I actually think that Brett Cooper is onto something here. I definitely don't subscribe to the whole Hollywood equals bad shtick of the Daily Wire. But when you compare the interest and the human side of Reesa Teesa's series to that of, say, Netflix Tinder Swindler, it is evident that there is something really special here that is not captured by mainstream media. Mainstream media content is so heavily, and in my opinion, so unnecessarily politicized that it alienates rather than facilitates human relatability. People can't actually see themselves in it. There seems to almost always be an agenda with some kind of bigger theoretical or ideological objective that is meant to be profound or make people uncomfortable in their own sense of reality. Think of Hollywood's own versions in the form of Who the Bleep Did I Marry? Or even a darker, fictitious telling of such a tale in the form of, say, I don't know, Gone Girl. Everybody is somehow perfect. They are superhuman in their attractiveness. The men, who are typically the scammers or wrongdoers, are sensationalized. They are made to be far more attractive than they probably are, and they are given the same kind of center stage mic as would a serial killer in all reenactments. Basically, everybody seems perfect, pretty, and don't seem to worry about everyday things that other people worry about, such as conversations with real estate agents, dreaming and fantasizing about your new car or your new home, reckoning with your faith, and going through the heartbreak of a miscarriage. These Hollywood retellings and documentaries are very much about the legions, about dissecting him, his character, dissecting his mind, and making some overarching political statement. That is, these Hollywood retellings and documentaries are about the legions, as opposed to the Reesa Teesas and their feelings and their everyday experiences. Her story and series has really centered the victim in a way that I think a lot of true crime today has really failed at being able to do. She has notably attracted an audience of not just stereotypical sister girls, but also white women. Her series has really transgressed a very racially and culturally divided zeitgeist, and I think this is a truly phenomenal feat. Teesa is suddenly being stopped by Star starstruck strangers while eating dinner, shopping for groceries, or just walking down the street. She's humbled by these fans and pleasantly surprised that they include white women, as well as the stereotypical sister girls back in Atlanta. But the feedback to the series hasn't been all good. And I think this exemplifies another more sinister reason as to why this story has gone viral. But just before we get into that, I'd like to give a huge thank you to today's video sponsor, Raycon. And if you've ever wanted to see me in the wild, you'll enjoy this little ad segment. Take it away. Today's video is kindly sponsored by Raycon, the electronics brand that has designed the world's best earbuds. And if you don't believe me, just look at the tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. Raycon's everyday earbuds offer you premium quality audio at half the price of their competitors. My Raycons are perfect for when I am traveling and on the move. Just between you and me, I've been doing a lot of speed dating recently, for research purposes only. And these earbuds have really helped me to relax and just tune out before putting myself out there with some good Melissa Etheridge. I'm not kidding when I say I wear them constantly when I'm traveling, when I'm doing sports like roller skating or getting my freak on at the gym. Especially when I'm at the gym, I love to just zone everybody and everything out. And Raycon's noise isolation does exactly that for me. When I'm on the Stepmaster at the gym, instead of disrupting my flow and potentially snapping my neck trying to change tracks or volume on my phone, I can easily use Raycon's earbud tap functions to skip songs or change the volume. And even when I get very disgustingly sweaty, Raycon's gel tips keep everything secure and in place. I hate it when earbuds just slip out of your ears, especially when you're like really intensely into an exercise or into a workout. This has not happened once with my Raycons, and these earbud tips are brilliant. You also get a nice variety selection of them, which is perfect. And as I said, I'm not kidding when I tell you that I take my Raycons everywhere with me. With 8 hours of playtime and 32 hours of battery life. Yes, this slick little case holds up to 32 hours worth of battery life. I don't have to worry whether they're up to the task of my very earbud dependent lifestyle outdoors or indoors when I'm just home editing work and working and just need some music in the background. Click the link down in the description or go to buyraycon.com/Kidology to get 20% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. And by using my unique link, you're not only getting an amazing discount on your new favorite earbuds, but you're also directly supporting the channel and me. So I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so very much to Raycon for sponsoring this video and for my new favorite earbuds. And now let's get back to it.
Do y'all want to know if y'all have reached maximum big backness?
If you're on FaceTime with your friends and you can tell exactly what they're eating just from the sound of the packaging, the sound that the Crumple Crump package makes coming out the freezer, and when they open it, you are a big bag bitch.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Big Back Behavior with Michaela. Once again, I'm here to show you how to elevate this boring ass bowl of oats into something that is incredible, amazing, and delicious. Once you have everything that you need, you're gonna get your muffin. I like to take the little cream cheese part off the top because I'm gonna save it for later. You're just gonna break it up and put it in your oats. Like so.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I hear a lot of big back behavior. Does she have a big back?
She do give Sheila that was driving up the mountain.
Okay. I can see the Tubi movie now, though. The Big Back Theory. Let's go.
The big back.
Let's go. Let's
The
make
Big
this.
Back Theory!
If Reesa Teesa looked like Beyonce, she would not have received the outpouring of empathy she has. Her story would be scrutinized, and we would be inundated with pretty privileged and light-skinned privileged think pieces. The stereotype of fat, unattractive women being desperate for love and targeted by predatory men is working to Reesa Teesa's advantage. And this theory, as it were, has been making the rounds. This is what TikTokers and the internet at large have been dubbing big back behavior.
And I think what they even talked about on the Breakfast Club, which is a show that I actually like to listen to and watch. I like Charlamagne the God. And I think he said something like he made a really, I guess to me, it was a rough joke. He called her like a big back or something like that.
What's your thing with big backs?
No, I'm just saying, because in a situation like this, some of you big backs, y'all got to stop being so thirsty for a man. There's a man out there for you, okay? This woman believed all of this because she wanted to believe all of this. Big back belief isn't like everybody else's belief, okay? She said it herself. He said everything I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
She wanted to believe whatever was coming out of his mouth because she wanted a man so bad.
And that, to me, I got no problem with Charlamagne. I don't. I just, for me, I ain't know whether to laugh at it or feel bad.
Big back behavior, or BBB, refers to a stereotype that has almost exclusively been applied to women, specifically black women like Reesa Teesa. For instance, black women have the highest prevalence of obesity in the United States, at just under 57% of the whole adult population. Black Caribbean and black African women in the United Kingdom also have consistently higher rates of obesity than white women. Now, based on my analysis into this online phenomena, BBB tends to refer to the following 3 stereotypes and characterizations. And I'd just like to preface these 3 points by saying that these are my analyses, not my opinions. Firstly, a big back woman's beauty and femininity come from external rather than internal attributes. That is, she isn't naturally feminine and therefore isn't naturally sexy, attractive, or beautiful. To be feminine, she typically falls into hyper-feminine tropes and ideals to compensate for her big back. For instance, she will wear weaves, extensions, and wigs. She will have fake eyelashes. She will get her nails done. She will wear a lot of makeup. And she is most particularly associated with the new money aesthetic. She likes the glitz and glamour. She likes fancy things, flashy things with sparkles.
Did you ever promise her like a better car or a more expensive car?
I told her all the features that she were talking about. I said, you will fit better in a BMW. But I said the challenge about putting you in a BMW is, and trying to teach her something is, you got to work for it. You know, I'm not going to just give you an $80,000 car because I'm your husband and you deserve it. I understand that part, but you got to learn the value of a buck. We just can't go out here all the time. You got to understand the value of something, and you don't want to work for it. So help me help you.
And it is important that everybody knows that what she has is expensive through, for instance, logos and branding. And all of this, as I said, is to compensate for the big back, to distract from the big back, and ultimately to appear feminine.
What's your thing with big backs? No, I'm just saying, because in a situation like this, some of you big backs, y'all got to stop being so thirsty for a man. There's a man out there for you, okay? This woman believed all of this because she wanted to believe all of this. Big back belief isn't like everybody else's belief, okay? She said it herself. He said everything I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
She wanted to believe whatever was coming out of his mouth because she wanted a man so bad.
Secondly, big back woman will tolerate more bull from people, specifically from men, than would women in general, due to 2 things. Firstly, they'll tolerate bullshit because they have a lower self-esteem and therefore think themselves deserving of a lot less than the average woman.
When I was 16, I started dating someone and he was abusive, physically, verbally, and emotionally. My self-esteem was already low. So I thought I was lucky to have his interest. Even though my boyfriend was abusive, I stayed with him. And I got pregnant when I was 16 and had my son when I was 17.
And secondly, they inevitably have to have lower standards because they don't fit the beauty standard and ideal.
It was one point in time where fat chicks were like a safe space for right? Where like, we know that she's going to be faithful and loyal. Now these fat chicks is like out here wilding even worse than the skinny ones. Like they're not even safe. They're not even a safe space anymore.
Yo, so the fat chicks were like the equivalent of like the nerdy guy?
I guess, you know, like, okay, let me date this one because I know she's going to be loyal to me and she's going to be locked in. Bro, these fat girls in 2024,
the
savages, nigga. Like they're Rottweilers. Like, they're out here.
I'd just like to note that I think this particular stereotype of BBB took the internet by storm in about 2018 after the infamous uploading of a series of videos by a content creator going by the name Sagittarius Shorty. And just a personal note, I've been subscribed to Saggy since, well, about 2 years, I believe. She really feeds something in me and she's very raw and real.
I can't do it. And honestly, since I finger my booty hole to wash it properly and shit, I've been scratching and like tearing up my booty with these nails. And I feel like it's just such a like inconvenience to have long nails. I just miss the short ones.
But Sagittarius Shorty went viral 4 to 5 years ago after she uploaded a number of story times detailing her rather extraordinary sexual escapades and experiences as both a sex worker and in her personal relationships. Basically, Sagittarius Shorty fitted the stereotype of BBB. She exemplified low self-esteem and somebody willing to let both men and women do very questionable things to her as both a sex worker and in her own intimate relationships. Very importantly and interestingly, she falls into another stereotype of big back white woman. According to the stereotype, big back white women, who are also more likely to be poorer women, will date black men, particularly thinner black men, who date these white women because they are more desirable by default of being white and therefore more of a prize, but also because these black men don't meet the high standards of the black woman who they may desire. And similarly, these big back white women don't meet the standards of white men who prefer thinner woman and women of a higher social class. Now, this stereotype is pretty pervasive in the United Kingdom, specifically among council estate subcultures. And this is evident in the dilemmas that many white working class women face in increasingly raising mixed race children. The 2021 UK census revealed a 50% increase from just 2011 in the white and black African mixed population. A white and black Caribbean mix remains to be Britain's largest mixed race population. And this has traditionally most often been a white working class woman and black man mix. And this is one of the reasons why many people think that the British working class has fragmented culturally due to the greater prevalence of interracialism. Sagittarius Shorty exemplifies this interestingly in her Canadian context. Over the years, she's very interestingly been affiliated not with whiteness, but with blackness. She's been arrested. She would be violent and aggressive. She's big. People call her masculine, and people did and to this day still call her trash and ghetto. And I think Sagi's notoriety 5 years ago is equivalent to the notoriety of the very derogatorily nicknamed Gorlock the Destroyer, real name Alice Lopez, who rose to prominence after her appearance on the Whatever podcast in 2023.
Hi, I'm Kiko. I'm 23. I go to UCSB and I also bartend.
Memes have already been making the rounds of her only dating black men.
The moral of the story is spring and summertime is coming around the corner, so I think that we need to create some type of program to help people unbig their back. So what I want to do is I'm going to buy a bunch of gift cards. I don't know what gym sells gift cards, but I'm going to go to one of these gyms and I'm going to buy a whole bunch of gift cards. I don't know if it's Planet Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness, one of these people. Maybe somebody in sales can help me, and we're going to get a bunch of gift cards and just give them out to our big back listeners.
Because you can unbig your back.
You can unbig your back.
You can't the but you can unbig your back, even you.
And thirdly, I would say that the most prominent stereotype surrounding BBB is that big back people, specifically women, are mainly responsible and are therefore mainly to blame for their own situation. That is, they are overweight by choice. And as such, according to the stereotype, if they lost weight and didn't partake in big back behavior, they would in fact be the very standard of beauty and desirability which eludes them due to their life choices. And this can be seen in the very recent trend of women reviewing and detailing their big back behavior. This comes in the form of reviewing unhealthy foods or making relatable posts about overeating something that is loaded with sugar, calories, and fat. And this stereotype behavior was precisely what was insinuated by the hosts of The Breakfast Club when they were talking about Reesa Teesa and her recent virality.
What negative comments have hurt the most?
The ones that talk about the fact, and I know people have seen this, she does not look like what a VP would date. And it was a woman, it was a TikTok creator who was talking about my looks. And then there was a very famous personality that called me a big back, talking about my weight. And so it's things like that that I'm like, Jesus, I can already admit I'm self-conscious, as a heavier woman. I feel like how I look should not dictate whether or not I deserve what I want.
And I'd actually say that this stereotype and blaming big backs for their own situation was actually solidified by the non-apology of host Charlemagne the God in response to his initial comments.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we've been calling each other big back for the last couple of years. We've been telling people unbig day back because spring and summer coming. Like, I thought it was like a term of endearment amongst us as people.
What?
It's not insulting. I ain't
Hey, what up, shorty? What up, big back? Like,
yeah, that's how we black people are. We use descriptors.
Yeah. In his response, Charlemagne does something interesting in distancing himself from his initial comments on big back behavior. Instead, here, he refers to big backs as a descriptor of someone's weight and size. He claims that it is merely a label, even a term of endearment. In his initial comments, he was doing something that I have outlined in the 3 main stereotypes of big backs. He wasn't simply using a label. Rather, his comments were indicative of the stereotypical belief that having a big back denotes particular moral and personal characteristics and or shortcomings that are deemed specific to big backs. Thus they, that is big backs, exhibit what is then called big back behavior. This is one of the major issues with an overdependence on stereotypes to explain individuals' behavior and reality. For instance, when 2 girls are arrested for destroying a culturally important sand sculpture in Hawaii, this is attributed not to them as individuals, but to big back behavior, as if this is something that big backs do. That is, something that is innate to them. When thin, beautiful people on TikTok overeat and dub it big back behavior, their treatment on social media can be very different to the treatment of fat people overeating on social media.
This big back activity trend is actually like the worst thing I've ever seen on TikTok. Because why is the cover of every single slideshow that I've been on a picture of a size 2 girl, size 0 actually, saying, oh my gosh, such big back activities, let me show you all the food I consume, and just, oh my god, I have such a big back. When the girl in the cover photo is like, the girl posting it is like the skinniest, daintiest little girl I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that all the comments are like, oh my gosh, where does it all go? I'm so jealous of your metabolism. And like, I don't care, post whatever you want to post, but my problem lies in the fact that if a fat person posted about this, the comments would be worlds different, okay? So I don't know what we're posting this for. Is it to make yourself feel better? Is it like, it feels so fat phobic to me and so weird.
When Reesa Teesa details her relationship with Legion, sympathy for what she endured is replaced with the following oversimplistic explanation that her big back behavior, for example, her being, in Charlemagne's words, too thirsty and desperate, is what got her into the situation in the first place, because that is simply what big backs do. Accusations of Reesa Teesa's big back behavior are creeping to the surface, as well as a very common thing that the internet loves to do: victim blaming, and especially blaming somebody for not being the quote-unquote perfect victim. And just to show you how quickly the internet moves on, a month ago everybody cared about Gypsy Rose, and now we care about Reesa Teesa. I wonder who is going to be our next perfect victim, or rather non-perfect victim, in April. My thoughts and prayers go to them in advance. With Reesa, the explanation goes that her big back behavior meant that she was willing to let a lot of red flags slide, that her lower self-esteem meant that she was willing to put up with Legion, and that she is only getting the amount of attention that she is because she doesn't fit into the conventional beauty standard. She is therefore seemingly capitalizing on being some kind of sympathy vote. As one commenter said, if she looked like Beyonce, nobody would care, or they would care for very different reasons. I do somewhat agree with this. I think if she looked like Beyonce, we'd be seeing memes akin to the "that mother effer isn't real" woman, which were very derogatory and sexualized, unnecessarily so. My opinion is that the reality of this situation, and of any situation, goes far deeper than the BBB stereotype can ever hope to muster or comprehend. I've seen this with Sagittarius Shorty and Ali C. Lopez, both of whom, when you take the time to get beyond the comforting stereotypes, are genuine individuals with their own stories and journeys towards self-acceptance and life on social media. It is not just big women who have fake eyelashes, fake hair, who want a big house and a BMW X5 with cognac interior. It isn't just big women who get scammed, who experience relationship trauma or the traumas and trials of going through a miscarriage. The number of people who have come out to express their own stories and their own trials because of this series is a testament to how boundary-defying Reesa Teesa's experiences and series has been. And I think this is so important. This series has, temporarily at least, really rehumanized an aspect of the internet that interconnects people across race, class, and physical size. I find it incredibly disappointing and showing that an alleged mental health advocate like Charlemagne the God have really let stereotypes and stereotypical assumptions cloud their better judgment when it comes to the realities of human beings and our human relations. It isn't just Reesa Teesa and big back women who are desperate for love and affection. We all are. And there's absolutely no shame in that. We all respond to that desperation differently. We settle for what we think we deserve. We don't settle. Some of us are fortunate enough to find somebody. Or, in the case of Reesa Teesa, we think that we have fortunately found somebody. And over time, realize and acknowledge otherwise. And that's hard. It's very, very hard. And the thing with stereotypes is, although there is some truth in all stereotypes, they are too often used as the easy way out, to make easy of that which is actually hard and that which is actually far more complex than we can possibly understand. No initialism can possibly comprehend everything that Reesa Teesa went through, nor her story and experiences. I think it's very important that we reckon with this, that we do take the hard route rather than the easy route of reducing people to stereotypes, to assumptions, to tribes, to what they ought to be, because it is easier for us to understand, because it is easier for us to fabricate a cookie cutter explanation of the world and the people in it. Clearly, the cookie cutter way of doing things isn't working. We're all fighting and bickering constantly. We are not getting to even a modicum of understanding and mutuality. So I'm actually very happy that this story and this series has gone viral. I think it speaks to something that people really yearn for and look for, which is genuine human story with its full complexity and full detail. A story that cannot be categorized or reduced. It isn't just a true crime tale. It's a tale of the real breadth and heaviness of the human experience. But it's a human experience that is only Reesa Teesa's. And all of us have our own in-depth, heavy human experiences and tales. So please do let me know what you think about this, what you think about Reesa Teesa, what you think about the internet's obsession with her and with this series, what you think about big back behavior, and whether you think that this stereotype applies or doesn't apply. I would, as always, be fascinated to read your thoughts and opinions. Please remember to be respectful to everybody in the comment section. And thank you so very much for supporting me and for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have a very busy month of content coming out this month, and I'll see all of you very, very soon in the next one.